5:15 p.m. Do I hear a motion to suspend roll call by unanimous consent?
So,
Okay.
Hold on one second. What's the date on Tuesday?
The 21st? Okay.
Hold on.
wow.
I need the exact
Wow, this is such a big game.
thing.
Yeah.
30.
Matt, can I use your phone?
Yes. What is it to record?
No, this time.
Okay, you can go.
Third place on agenda, County did not make any adjustments to the current appointment selection criteria. Moving into deliberations. Going to bless you.
Bless you.
Starting with R&E, 4 open seats, so 12 minutes of deliberations. Starting now.
Alright, so for R&E,
Let me actually start with this one. I just want to kind of make it clear for the committee that some of the technical question answers that we received were a little bit ambiguous, and I just want to emphasize that the Rules and Ethics Committee is kind of a very technical committee where there's a lot of different hearings and a lot of different procedures that go into it, and so I really want to have that confidence in every single person that we add to the committee. In my opinion, I just think that we may need to table the seats, but that's obviously a later decision. But just keep that in mind as you deliberate. I think that all of these applicants had amazing interviews, but I really expect that precision when it comes to the technical questions, and I didn't really hear that today.
yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like the technical questions were a little off for some people, and I think it makes sense to table the seats right now so that, you know, they can reapply in the future and hopefully study up on the code some more and nail the technical questions rather than, you know, being a little bit off.
Okay, do I hear any other deliberations? It's quick, hearing none. We'll move into INC. There's 1 open seat, so 3 minutes. There's a lot of applicants, so just
Yeah.
be prepared for the good time. And go.
Alright, so just to start off, Nora and Pujan did not interview, so that's something. I really liked Liliana's interview. You know, she talked about like her experience with Warren Student Welcome and like, you know, working on a marketing committee to make promotional content. But you know, she is very new to Senate, which I think I would like to see some experience in this role.
Yes, I really liked when Liliana said that she helped with the marketing when she worked at Acai Bowls, because it shows that she kind of just like is ready to jump in with the marketing and post like whenever she can.
Yeah, and then I really liked Brooke Tuttle's interview. You know, speaking on experience, she served on INC in the spring, which I think is super important. And then she talked about, you know, all the stuff that she did in the past, the ideas that she had for interview in the spring, she actually followed through on and got everything done, which I really liked. And then she said she's like, you know, PR director for GAS, a social media intern for a nonprofit. You know, I think that's a lot of experience that I really value. And then outside of that, we have Jacob Glover. I really liked his ideas. Definitely some stuff that we're probably gonna implement in the future. But you know, just experience kind of wins it for me. It always has, and I feel like Brooke has more experience on INC. And then Caroline Little, I liked a lot, but I feel like she'd be better for Judish because she did apply for both. And think that, you know, her experience was more oriented for Judish, so I'd kind of led her towards that.
Yes, I agree. I feel like Brooke Tuttle stood out definitely because she had that big 4 posts. I know it was definitely clear and it made a lot of sense to incoming senators and other students. And I also really liked her idea of the art of the website because I know sometimes when I'm looking at it, I get confused. Like there are links that don't work or like old things that just confuse me.
Yeah.
Are there any other celebrations? Okay. Now we're gonna move into Judiciary. There's 2 open seats, so 6 minutes starting now.
Yeah, so starting off with Caroline Little, you know, she mentioned that she's like super interested in the legislative process. She is relatively new. I believe she's a Center B senator. But I've seen a lot of good stuff out of her so far. And then she mentioned, you know, she's an assistant director for a nonprofit, and you know, has worked a lot like delegation of responsibilities and stuff for, you know, our team, which I think that leadership is very highly respected and would be good for Judish. And then Mary Alex, she you know, is very qualified. She clerked for the past 3 meetings, she said. But I think, you know, she is still relatively new, and I would like to see a little bit more experience out of her. And then Matt, I think, you know, no bias, you were definitely the most experienced person applied. You said you were a legislative aide for a New York senator. You've written proposals, sat in legislative sessions, reviewed bills, which I think is something that I would like to see more in Judish experience. It always comes back to that. And I did like your idea about bringing in a guest speaker from the law college. I think that's kind of unique and would kind of bring people more into getting involved in writing legislation, because at the end of the day, I'd love to see everyone in the Senate write legislation, and that would be good for that.
Okay. Do I hear any other deliberations? Hearing none, we are going to move into candidate nominations. Do I hear any motions?
I move to table the open RE committee seats by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
I move to nominate Brooke Tuttle for the open INC committee seats by unanimous consent.
Do I hear any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
I move to nominate Caroline Little for the open judiciary committee seat by unanimous consent.
Do I hear any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
I move to nominate Matt Rowe for the open judiciary committee seat by unanimous consent.
Do I hear any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Okay, agenda. Do I hear any motions?
I move to add all legislation approved by the Judiciary Committee to the agenda under first reading by unanimous consent.
Yeah, keep going, sorry.
Yeah. Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
I move to pass any legislation approved by the Budget and Appropriations Committee to the agenda under first reading by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
I move to add all absences approved by the Rules and Ethics Committee to the agenda by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
I move to add all university committee nominations to the agenda under executive nominations by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
I move to create a special rule for the university committee nominations to be heard as a block by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
And then I move to set the date and place of the Senate meeting on Tuesday, July 21st to Southwest Recreational Activity Room number 3 at 7 p.m. by unanimous consent.
Like time to get posted. Yeah. Okay.
Just remake it.
Yeah.
I rescind my last motion.
Okay.
And then I move to set the time, date, and place of the Senate meeting on Tuesday, July 21st to Southwest Recreation Activity Room number 3 at 7 p.m. by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes.
And then I move to adopt the agenda by consent.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes. I move to adjourn this meeting at 5:25 p.m.